Welcome to Blockchain Brunch, where the alpha is fresh, the coffee is strong. I'm Emily, the crypto recruiter, and every week, we dive into what's happening in the Web3 job market, the trends, the talent, and the truth behind who's actually hiring. Plus, I'll be doing resume audits so you can stop guessing and start getting interviews because your resume shouldn't be the reason you're getting ghosted. I am so excited to be back this Wednesday and every Wednesday. So I want to do a quick shout out to our friends at ErgoQuest, Zero Gravity Workstations. They are an incredible resource for anybody that experiences pain or is just looking for a general boost in their work day. So I'm going to put up a banner here, guys, about your resume. Go ahead and send it to me on Telegram. Otherwise, we can get started with our open roles. Let me pull those up here. Let me know you guys are here. Say good morning. Who's in the audience? Okay, so what we've got going on first. Oh, actually, I have 3 new roles that I haven't put in the database. I don't know if you guys are aware, but we have 2 branches. Well, technically 3 at the Crypto Recruiters. We've got the Crypto Recruiters, the Tech Recruiters, and the AI Recruiters. So the Tech Recruiters / AI Recruiters is putting up 3 new roles that I'm very excited about, and I will update that at the end of what I'm about to say. Okay. So we're hiring a senior software engineer for a company here in Chicago, which is where I'm based. It's an on-site role in Fulton Market. The company has been around for 2 years. They're not profitable yet, but they've got 5 years of runway. I'm also hiring a head of marketing, a head of customer success, a head of product on site in Toronto. That's for like the Intuit of crypto. I'm very excited about it. We have 2 roles in Stamford, Connecticut, platform associate and a venture investment lead. So if you're interested in those, give me a shout. But again, on site, Stamford, Connecticut. And then we've got a remote senior software engineer based in the United States, open for candidates in the United States. And then I've got this really interesting one. So it's like a chief product officer or a VP of product. It's basically a company that is working on compensating people for data permission, right? And they are looking for someone to come in and help build a product about AI security for the youths. I can't get into too much information, but if you've got an AI background, you're a product whiz, you're a great leader, and you know how to communicate with engineering as well as product teams, I'm your girl. Give me a shout. Now, the roles that we're opening up for the AI recruiters is, I believe, what's the word I'm looking for? A business development rep, a customer service manager, a founding engineer. Okay, that was more difficult than it needed to be. Good morning, Joel. Good to see you here. Trevor, good morning. Erica, good morning. Are you on European time for the training? I was talking to Jess this morning. Hope it's going really well. Pablo, good morning. Does the role also apply to non-US citizens, LATAM or EU? I'm so glad you asked. Now, the problem is I'm based in the US. Most of my clients, I almost turned my mic off. Most of my clients are based in the US, and just over the last 6 years, historically, they're always looking for US talent. So as much as I would love to tell you, yes, it's open for European candidates, our roles at the Crypto Recruiters, 9 times out of 10 are based in the US for US citizens or green card holders. Why? You may be asking why. And the answer to that is time zone purposes, right? So I think if we were talking 5 years ago, companies were hiring in a very decentralized manner, right? They were in the US, they were in India, they were in Europe. And the problem was, and this is just what I've heard from hiring managers, is that there would be like a 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning call for somebody that was not in the US, and they'd miss the call. I don't know, maybe because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And so it slowed down progress within the company. So now they're all hiring within the same time zones. Like I have clients in California that will only hire out of California because they don't want the East Coast, to miss calls, be too late, be too early, et cetera, et cetera. So time zone purposes, number 1. 2, tax purposes and payroll purposes, right? Are there programs or platforms like Deal? Yes. But sometimes it's just easier to keep it in-house. So those are two reasons why a lot of companies are keeping it local. And then on top of that, in person, on sites, right? A lot of companies are moving back into the office, and a lot of companies like to get together more than just once a year. So it's a lot cheaper to have people locally. Emanuela, I'm so glad you made it today. I got your Telegram message last week. Glad you could join. Please look at me. I've been in Bitcoin blockchain industry since 2013. John, happy to. So what we can do is I can either take a peek at your resume or we can audit your LinkedIn profile. Both are fine, one or the other. I just need your written permission. Good morning, Luis. I just need your written permission that I can screen share your profile. So if you could leave a comment saying, Emily, I give you permission to screen share my LinkedIn profile or my resume, happy to get it done. So you may be asking, Emily, why are you spending an hour helping people update their LinkedIn profiles or update their resumes? Well, let me tell you, if I can find you a job, fabulous. If you can find you a job, fabulous. Mission accomplished. That is the goal. I am thrilled to be a part of your journey, regardless if I get anything from it or not. So my thought is by helping you audit your resume, you'll get more chances to get interviews. You'll get more chances to land new positions, right? And it really has to do with keywords and positioning, and it takes an hour. It's an hour out of the week. It's the least I can do. I understand. Thank you for the clear answer. Absolutely. LATAM is usually in a similar time zone, but I completely understand the tax and compliance requirements. Thank you so much for understanding. I agree with you. That's so funny. We've got a comment on YouTube. Your AI generated. Just so you know, your is YOU''. Just so apparently you are not AI generated, but that's fine. I'm gonna run through the jobs really quickly one more time. John, Yao, don't forget to leave me that comment. So senior software engineer, Chicago on site. All right, John, I got your comment. Head of marketing, head of customer success, head of product, Toronto on site. Platform associate, venture investment lead, Stamford, Connecticut on site. Chief product officer / VP of product. That is fully remote, ideally on the West Coast, though, and then a remote senior software engineer based in the US. And then for the AI recruiters that we just recently got started, we've got that customer success / service, we've got the business development representative, and then we've got the founding engineer. My partner, Adriana, who is in the chat, is also about to, is available for questions regarding that. Okay, share my LinkedIn or resume. Beautiful. So John, I've got to open you. How do I open John? Hold on one second. I've got to open the live on LinkedIn. So you may hear some feedback. Give me a second. We'll get there. Notifications. All right, we're live. 90 people. Wow, you guys are really showing up here. There we go. Volume. All right, John. Let me pull you up, my friend. Greater Sydney. Hello. Australia. Love it. Hold on one second, guys. I need to share without slides and PDF. You would think I would know how to do this. Application window, open tab. John, there we go. Okay. So it does not show all of. That's so funny. Hold on. There we go. All right. Mr. John, thank you so much for coming up. Hold on one second. I got to close all my messages. Look at that. All right. Back to it. So, John, looking at your LinkedIn profile, first off, I love your banner photo up here, right? It's tech focused, right? Banner photos are important because it's a visual cue. When someone comes to your profile, what are they thinking in the first 3 seconds? And this alludes to you being in technology, which is great because you're a software engineer, certified in project management, cybersecurity, Okay, so I think we need to pick one. If you're a software engineer, it might not make the most sense to have HR up here. Freelance, self-employed, understood. University, understood. I do like this photo of you. I don't like the open to work banner, and here's why. It gives people an impression, right? When you have that banner up, the question becomes, well, Well, why is John advertising to the world that he's open to new opportunities, right? What went wrong that John needs to let everybody know that he's exploring right now? Now, John, is that necessarily true? No, but we're just dealing with human impression. And the problem is, psychology wise, the brain just automatically leans to the negative. That's just how it works. So I would take the open to work banner down. However, you can have at the back end of LinkedIn that you are open to work to recruiters. So anybody that has the recruiter subscription, which is most recruiters, can see that you are open to work. So that's what I would do there. Now, my question to you, and if you wouldn't mind leaving a comment, are you 100% into crypto, or is it more of an option? Let me know in the comments. Have worked in the USA and can work there. Gotcha. Heard. Noted. Again, we just get back to that time zone challenge, right? It can be very challenging for people to hire out of Australia. But let me know about crypto if that's like 100% where you want to be. And the reason I bring it up is crypto is like an all in or all out kind of a situation. You're either 100% committed, you're in the rabbit hole, you're researching 3 hours plus a day, or it's more of like a hobby, right? So if you want to be in crypto, we need to be die-hard blockchain. What do I mean by that? I mean, I'm a multidisciplinary blockchain software engineer with a master's in computer science and 30 plus certifications across blah, 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 right? So you want to put in here what kind of software engineer, right? You get 3 to 30 seconds to make an impression off a resume. Now, here's the challenge. I'm going to say something that's not very popular, but I'm going to say it. You have to consider your audience. Who is the person reading your resume? Who is the person that's flipping through? Let me hide this. Who is the person that's flipping through the resumes? And these tend to be junior recruiters, HR coordinators, staffing agencies, and these are people that are newish in their career. I really do. I hate to say it. It feels so bad because I have nothing personally against Gen Zs, but historically, personality-wise, Gen Zs tend to take the easy route out, right? They're not going past the 9 to 5. They're not putting a ton of attention to detail into their work. So that being said, you want to make it easy for these entry-level people that are making $15 an hour, flipping through resumes all day, to understand that you're a fit for the job. So what do I mean by that? I mean, your resume could go a lot of different directions. We need to pick one or two, right? It is not a recruiter. It is not a hiring manager. It is not HR's job to decide, oh, John would fit into this bucket or he should go into this bucket, right? You need to give clear instruction. Here is where I bring value. Here is what I can do. Now, I noticed that you've got some posts here. Fabulous. Love to see it. I would also put some like thought leadership up there, right? What exactly do you think about X, Y, and Z? We actually just had a great example. So there's this woman named Adriana. She's an HR professional, and we did a live LinkedIn with her, something like this. And she actually got a job because her future boss watched that LinkedIn event that she had posted on her LinkedIn profile and wrote a little bit about it. And that's what sealed the deal, ladies and gentlemen, for her, which was fantastic. All right, beautiful. So what I do love is you've got a lot of information here. What I don't love is we're using the word I. We never want to use the word I, me, or my in a resume. So I would definitely take that off and pay attention. AI is okay to use, guys. You can use AI, but make sure we get rid of the M dashes. What I do like is the bullet pointing here, the bullet points, right? So this is very easy for me to read. These paragraphs are just going to be skimmed. No one's going to read these paragraphs, right? Again, 3 to 30 seconds to make an impression off your resume. Again, I think this is really well built out, but we don't want to use the word I. And I noticed that you say you're present here, which is good. So we've got design and deploy. If you were no longer in this position, you would want to do designed and deployed. So if you're no longer in the role, it should be past tense. Now, one of the things that I'm noticing is you've got a lot of present roles here. Now, coming from the eye of a hiring manager, my question may be two things. One, without the banner, is John even open to new opportunities? He's got so much going on, he might not even want to hear from me. Two, they may be thinking, well, John wants to focus on all these other things instead of finding a job full time. So I would pick and choose, where you're spending most of your time. I'm just looking at some notes. Peter, good morning, my friend. John, I hope that's helpful. Let's just finish while we're here. Education. Let's take our dates of employment off. Nobody needs our dates of education off. Nobody needs to know how old you are, right? And this immediately dates you. So I would just take this off completely. How to do it? You just go down to the date section and you where it like the ticker is, you select the select date. You select the select year, literally those two words. And that'll take the dates off. Licenses and certifications, fabulous. Skills, you've got 100 plus skills. Did you know you can reorganize these? You can actually drag and drop the two that you want to be at the top. And it's kind of funny. It used to be 3. Now it is 2. You've got 537 licenses and certifications. I might whittle it down just a little bit to your most important ones. What I do like is you've got some recommendations here. You've got 5. Recommendations are really important because it's someone that's vouching for you, right? It does 2 things. It says, 1, you did a great job. 2, you're a real person. I can't tell you how many people there are just fake profiles on LinkedIn, fake profiles and fake recruiters everywhere. So it's really important that you are verifying that you're a real profile. It sounds kind of silly to say, but I can't tell you how many scams there are out there. Okay, there we go. So you're very welcome, John. So glad that I could give you some feedback. Rooting for you. Great job taking the banner off. Luis, designer and animator. Entry level, any entry level Web3 opportunities. I come mainly from Web 2, but I do invest in many blue chip currencies since 2017. Love that. Dedication, passion right there. So let's talk about recruiting firms for a second. It's like these uncomfortable truths, but I'm going to tell them to you, but just don't, cancel me for later. Recruiting firms are services that are used by companies to find the absolute perfect person, right? We're a great resource for multiple reasons. 1, we already have an established network, so we get things done quickly. 2, we are very cost effective in returns to hiring managers doing their own job, right? So think about it. You're a hiring manager. You've got an open spot on your team. That means you're doing your job, you're doing that person's job, but you're also doing the hiring process. Right. So we take that off your plate. Number 3, we already have a very large, I think I mentioned that for number 2. Anyway, so that being said, they're coming to us looking for us to find the perfect person, and they're heavily investing into our service. So if you're not the perfect person, my hands are tied, right? Because that's why they're coming to us. That being said, entry-level jobs are not necessarily something that our clients use us for. Because if you post a job that's entry-level, you're likely to get, many, many, many candidates, right? Could they use us to filter through those candidates? Absolutely. But it is more cost effective to use either internal recruiting or a recruiting contractor to go through all those applications. So it's much easier to hire an entry level person than it is a senior person. So that's why they use recruiters for more senior level roles. So I don't ever, not ever, I've worked on a couple to save my clients time, but 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, I don't have entry level roles. Are they out there? 100%. 100%. The problem is entry-level job postings often get a lot of unrelevant applications, right? So if you have no experience, you have absolutely none, and you're applying to an entry-level role, you need to, in your resume, position how things you've done in the past, right? Like schoolwork. What you were so successful in at school and how that's going to translate into the job. Now, if you have a little bit of experience, that's really what you want to highlight at the very top of your resume. So it still has to be somewhat relevant, but have you guys seen those job posts that are like entry level, 7 years of experience required? It's like, what are you doing? That's not entry level. That's like associate to middle associate. Like, what are you doing? So I understand finding entry-level roles can be very challenging. It isn't my specialty. I don't have, like a ton of advice for you because my career has always been in more senior level roles. But it's interesting. I heard this story once from this candidate. He used to work, this was a long time ago, so bear with me. He used to work at a liquor store and didn't want to be in retail and definitely didn't want to work for a liquor store. So he actually printed out his resume and walked door to door to different businesses and dropped his resume and asked if they were hiring. There's actually a service now. I don't know how legit it is, especially because a lot of companies are not in the office, but there's this resume service where you can send your resume to this company. They will print it out and mail it for you to these companies, to the executives. Could you do that on your own? Absolutely. I think that's really interesting. So a way I used to get a lot of business is I used to write handwritten notes and actually mail them to potential clients. I got a few clients from that. It was custom, it was personalized, it was a nice touch. People really liked it. So if you are in an area where there are on-site opportunities, on-site jobs, I would just go to the office. Go to the office, drop off a resume, ask to meet so-and-so, make sure they work at the office, not work at the office, but are like in the same location. Add them on LinkedIn with a message. Hey, just drop my resume off at your office, right? Simple, clean, clear. But anything to make you stand out if you are entry level is going to be beneficial. Let me just pop open. I'm not seeing any comments. Maybe it's because no one's making comments. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, beautiful. Not missing anything. Anybody else have any other questions? John, you're very welcome. Happy to help. Happy to help. I hope that puts things into perspective. Hope it gives you some good directions. Okay, we've got Emanuela. Emily, I have experience as a content writer and a crypto news reporter. It's been so hard to find a role. I want to know what are the closest jobs options I can switch to, seeing how my role is saturated. Note, I'm not based in the US. That is a great question. So if you're not based in the US and you're looking at US jobs, it makes it a little bit trickier. As a journalist, as a reporter and a content writer, I'd be going after social media roles. I'd be going after ghostwriting opportunities. How would you do that? I would actually go to people and say, hey, I wrote this piece that I thought was in your voice. Are you hiring a ghostwriter? Right? I would go to companies that have very little of a social media presence and say, hey, I have all these ideas for your social media. I'd love to put together a presentation, right? You want to see if they're open to it. Now, when you have experience, but there's not a lot of jobs out there, you kind of have to go above and beyond to catch their interest, right? So a lot of times when I'm selling my service, I will go out and I will put a, what's the word I'm looking for? I will put a org chart plan together for them, right? So, hey, I looked at your LinkedIn. You have these people. You don't have these professionals. Here's how this would fit into your organization, right? Letting them know, one, I'm an expert. Not that anybody's an expert because there's always something to learn. But two, I'm bringing value, right? So you want to make sure that you're bringing value before you make an ask. I hope that's helpful. I missed a comment. Hold on. You know what bothers me? I'm like, I get it, but I've been doing this for 6 years and never had any trolls. And now I'm starting to get trolls, and like it just makes me, it's just like unhelpful. Like, what's your, I made a post about it on LinkedIn yesterday. It was actually kind of funny. But it's just like, what are you doing? You just make yourself look dumb. Oh, everyone says go to the website, even me. So here's my gripe with websites. Even our website, I'm ashamed to admit it, we need to update our website more often, but that's exactly the problem. People are posting jobs on their websites, they're filling these jobs, and then they're not updating the websites. So where there may be like the perfect job listed on the website, it may not actually be open anymore. It may have been shut months ago. And they also have what's called evergreen roles. Evergreen roles are jobs that are always open because they're always considering candidates, right? So I would definitely take a look at the website, but don't bank on it. Especially if they have internal HR, then maybe the website's a little more viable because their HR internally or recruiters internally will actually review those applications and they get forwarded the emails. But for me, historically, websites have not been accurate. Kavya, sorry. As a beginner in Web3, how to get an internship offers related to this. We kind of touched about this earlier in the show. I'm not the best person to ask because I deal with mainly senior level employment. But what I would do is I would position yourself. It depends on what you want to do. Can you tell me more about like what type of internship you'd be looking for? Because I guess there's different routes to go about each. Manuela, you're very welcome. I'm rooting for you. I thought the way you reached out to me was very thoughtful. Continue to do that. And guys, here's a pro tip. If you want to reach out to someone and you can't like get them on LinkedIn, blah, 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 take the end of their URL or their handle on Twitter, put that into Telegram. See if their Telegram is the same as their Twitter handle or the end of their LinkedIn. A lot of times it is. And you can also, so that's just one of the ways that I find people, hiring managers to reach out to myself, right? Because I do business development. I don't just recruit, though I would love to just recruit and not do business development. I have to do both. I'm going to run through the jobs we're hiring for one more time since we've got new people in the audience. Senior software engineer on-site in Chicago, head of marketing, head of customer success, head of product in Toronto on-site. Stamford, Connecticut on-site, platform associate, venture investment lead. Remote in the US, senior software engineer, and then remote US West Coast, chief product officer, VP of product for an AI company. Hope that, and then the AI recruiters, we have the business development representative, the customer service / success person, and then the founding engineer. So my partner, Adriana, is in the chat. And she can answer any questions about those roles. I think we just got them posted this morning. Umair, good morning. Always a pleasure to join Blockchain Brunch. Could you please walk us through your vision of the ideal candidate for this role? What a great comment. Let me go look. Hold on, I got to press refresh on the page. You might hear a noise. Beautiful. Let me grab the link. Protocol sales associate, capital formation. I don't know if I can screen share this. Let me just read. I guess it's a coin. What is this? It's Coinbase's website. I can probably screen share this, but I'm not going to record it. Hold on one second. All right, Emily, screen share. You got this. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Look at this. I'm getting better every day. All right. So protocol sales associate, ready to be pushed beyond what you're capable of. Scan, scan, scan. Responsible for driving awareness. Source protocol team members. So team members manage business development, sales, catchers, team closely. Sorry, let me just hang out with me here for a second while I read this. So sales. So this is definitely, protocol sales associate. Okay. Winning, Emily. So for me, I'd be looking for candidates that have experience with, it's Coinbase, right? Coinbase is, one of the top companies you could look for. They're going to want someone that has relationships with protocols. They're going to want enterprise deal. I would look for someone with enterprise experience. I think the key to success here, though, is going to be those existing relationships, especially since they're looking for 3 years of experience. Now, they say they're open to investment banking, enterprise sales. I mentioned that earlier, but what they're really going to look for, who they're going to hire, comes from a crypto company. Fierce passion. So they've got to be knowledgeable about the space, constantly researching. This is probably going to be someone that's heavy on Twitter. It's interesting that they're asking, or they're interested in someone that works across all these departments, but only 3+ years. So they're probably going to hire someone that has more than 3 years of experience if this is really important, especially working with legal. But if this is more of like a, oh, you'll just be liaisoning, then we could definitely stick with the 3 years. But again, led the go-to-market of a token launch at a crypto protocol. Who has that with 3 years of experience? Experience at a traditional financial institution. So, in my opinion, the perfect person for this role has protocol relationships with protocols, right? They're going to come from a crypto company, not necessarily a financial institution. And the reason why I say that is Coinbase kind of can do the pick of the litter, right? They're the company that can just hire, everybody wants to work for Coinbase. That's a whole other story. But they can hire, basically anybody. If you get an offer from Coinbase, it's like getting an offer from Amazon, right? They pay well. They're very well known, and it's an easier sell, right? Because the brand is so well known. So for that role, it's going to be someone with experience because it's Coinbase. If it wasn't Coinbase, they'd be more likely to entertain someone that doesn't have experience, right? But again, Coinbase can get the pick of the litter. So that is what I would look for in that role. I would look for protocol relationships. So someone that comes from a crypto company that's interfacing with protocols, potentially a background with financial institutions, and someone that has experience with enterprise deals, right? So when you're an enterprise salesperson, you're managing multiple levels of the sale, not just like doing the cold calling. But that role itself is going to rely heavily on relationships. And I was working on a couple sales roles, and they all want pre-existing relationships, all of them. But again, they're coming through a recruiting firm. It's got to be the perfect person. I hope that helps. Thank you, Mayor. I owe you an email back. I know I do. I will get that done today. Please direct message me if you don't get that back from me today. Adriana just posted all the roles for the tech recruiters are posted here. Also, the AI recruiters, we're kind of blending. We're trying to figure out how do we position this branding, right? But those roles are for an AI company, which is very exciting. Anybody else have any other questions that I can help with? Make an impact in your search. Other resume audits. If you want to shoot me a copy of your resume, send it to me. Let's go over it. I'm so excited that all of you are here with me in the room, even though I feel like I'm just yapping. It's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. At least I didn't spill coffee on myself this morning. You know what my favorite part of recruiting is while we wait? The people. Like, it is so interesting to meet so many people that are on the same journey but have come from different paths, right? Like, it's just so interesting to hear these backstories and these different personalities and see how they all mix together. A lot of people ask me how I got into crypto recruiting, and it was the people. I came from financial services. It was a very natural transition into crypto, but I'd actually gotten my husband a job in the crypto industry. And it was his colleagues that really inspired me to start the crypto recruiters. My job is to talk to people, right? And if I'm going to talk to people, I want it to be people that I like on a topic I find interesting. So that's how I got started in crypto, was just by talking to people and learning. But like, these are my people. Well, I mean, they still are, but I think the industry, the culture has changed a little bit. When I started 6 years ago, there was like all this information sharing. Everybody was happy to talk to each other. And now there's a lot more gatekeeping, which makes it more difficult and a little bit less enjoyable. But I still love how hungry people are. Hungry to learn, hungry to contribute, hungry to just like be a part of something. And sure, everybody's going to call crypto the future, right? I mean, it is. But the mass amount of people that recognize that we've really got something here, and now to see the adoption of it, it's just been incredible. It's just been incredible. Yes, Luis, we only have 3 jobs open on that side of the business, right? Yeah, only 3 jobs. We have more on the crypto recruiter side, but that's because we're more established, right? Crypto recruiter's been around for 6 years. Tech recruiter's been around for like 6 months, 8 months. We just got that launched, and the thought is we have so many candidates that are interested in crypto, but have a tech or, now AI background. So we want to be able to service these candidates in multiple facets, not just bringing them crypto jobs, but also bringing them other jobs that they might be interested in tech AI. So we're focusing on SaaS, security. I keep saying the word AI, but AI. So this is an AI security company, one of our first, and we're very excited about it. It's always excited to get your first client. You know what I mean? Actually, not our first. We have a couple, but like this is the only one we have active right now. Side note, did you know Chainlink just got on TikTok? I don't want to like ruin my LinkedIn algorithm here, but I've been having so much fun on TikTok. There's a lot of annoying people, but there's some really good people on TikTok. They're posting shorts, but most importantly, they're doing lives. So Chainlink just announced on Twitter that they got onto TikTok. So I'm excited to see what they do. But there's a lot of really good people and information sharing on TikTok. One of my favorite, we'll call him an influencer because he kind of is. His name is Web3 Glossary. He's actually written a couple books that are Web3 glossaries. Some are even geared towards children, which I think is really cool to educate the youths. So I really like him. Lots of educational content. He's on lives all the time. I've been doing TikTok lives just to answer questions as I'm working. You don't have to schedule it like you do LinkedIn. It's super easy. I'm very happy with my 200 followers on TikTok. That's really all I need. Just 200 friends. Very happy with it. And my 5 likes. It's not about followers. It's about having fun with it. I think that's what the most successful influencers, content creators, have. Is just they have fun with it, which is what makes them so successful. I try to have fun with it too. I overthink some of the stuff, but it all goes. It's all the same. Guys, if we don't have any other questions, we might just wrap up today a little bit early. Thank you all very much for joining. It was great to see you. It was great to interact with you. It was great to do John's LinkedIn profile. We will be back here next Wednesday at 10:30 Central, 10:15. I've just been starting a little early to get the notification out there, but good to see you all. Thanks for joining. Thanks for all your support. I will talk to you all soon next week, 10:30.